Welcome to Concept Go.
Where learning is fun.
Hello and welcome to this new video on understanding history. This is part of the social studies syllabus of Standard 4. We will talk about the definition of history, the three major periods of history, the sources of history, archaeological sources, literary sources, and what is the need to preserve the sources of history. So what is history? History tells us about important events that had once happened. It tells us about many people in the past, what they did, the things they used, the food they ate. We also learn about kings and kingdoms, great wars and battles. It is also an account of events that have happened in the past. So who is an historian? A historian is a person who specializes in the study of history. We study history to learn about the past and understand change. History is full of stories of different people in different times. It also makes us appreciate the rich customs and habits left behind by our ancestors. History is vast and continuous. Historians have divided it into three parts: ancient history, medieval history, and modern history. This makes history studying a bit easier. The Indian history is also divided into three periods: ancient India, medieval India, and modern India. The ancient period starts from the time life began on earth. During this time, humans learned to speak, write, grow their own food, and build houses. The medieval period is also known as the Middle Ages. By this time, humans had already begun living in large kingdoms. We learn about great kings and explorers who discovered many unknown parts of the world during this period. The modern period refers to the history of recent times. This period extends to the present, where many new inventions and ideas have changed the world. History, as we know, is a story of the past. But how do we come to know about it? We come to know from them what we call as the sources of history. To learn about your own past, you can look at old photographs and old things you used in the past, isn't it? You can learn about your parents' past through what they and your grandparents tell you. A historian, much like a detective, looks for evidences and clues and puts them together to understand a series of events. Historians look at many objects used in the past to learn about the people who used them. These objects are called sources of history. Some of the sources give us a very clear picture of the past, while some only give us clues. We can broadly divide the sources of history into two types: archaeological sources and literary sources. Archaeology is the study of ancient remains like monuments, buildings, coins, tools, and paintings. An archaeologist works at sites to recover objects which may have been lying buried in the ground for a long time. Ancient buildings such as palaces, forts, temples, and pillars built by humans are called monuments. They give us information about the society and people of the past. The Taj Mahal is one such monument which is visited by tourists from all over the world. The Red Fort, Sanchi Stupa, Ashoka Pillar, Jama Masjid, and Qutub Minar are some of the other important monuments. You know, acid rain is caused by pollution, and it has brought about the decay of many monuments. For example, the white Taj Mahal is slowly turning yellow. Hence, vehicles are not allowed near it. Fun fact, isn't it? Coins provide information about the past as well. By studying a coin, one gets to know the name of the ruler, the name of the place, the metal available in that place, the date when it was used, and the language used in the region. The study of coins is known as numismatics. Inscriptions are also an important source of history. Inscriptions are important messages engraved by rulers on the pillars, copper plates, rocks, clay tables, and on the walls of temples or buildings. For example, Ashoka's inscription on rocks and pillars describe his achievements, his messages, and his religious beliefs. In the ancient times, people did not know any language. They drew pictures of what they saw around them. As they learned to communicate and share ideas through science, language developed. Information was passed by word of mouth. These are referred to as oral sources of information. Few examples are folklore, stories, songs, and poems. Paintings and sculptures also form an important source for studying our past. One learns about the occupations, dresses, and lifestyle of the people of that time. The cave paintings of Bhimbetka depict the life of early humans. Artifacts, including ornaments, tools, pottery, or other objects made by human beings, are an important source of information about the time period to which they belong. Do you know what are fossils? Fossils are the remains of plants and animals, and they are usually found in rocks. It is also a very important source of history. Archaeologists use shovels and other tools to excavate fossils. Literary sources are the written records, accounts, fiction, and non-fiction writings found by historians. Before the invention of paper, humans wrote on palm leaf or the bark of birch trees, which were called manuscripts. These important records of the past tell us about the lives of the people and their kings, their laws, and religious beliefs and practices. Literature of the past were of two kinds: religious and non-religious. Religious literary sources contain stories about gods and goddesses and prayer songs. Some religious sources are the Vedas, the Puranas, and the great epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata. The non-religious texts talk about the society, culture, people, and the rulers of the time. This could be an autobiography by the ruler himself or a biography written by other people on the life story of a ruler. The Arthashastra is an example of a non-religious literature. Accounts by foreigners such as Huan Sang, Fa Hien, and Megasthenes left very interesting descriptions of their experiences in India. These accounts tell us not only about the rulers but also about the lifestyle of the common people. Baburnama is the autobiography of Babur. Akbarnama is a biography of Akbar written by Abul Fazl. It is very important to take care of historical monuments and remains by looking after them and not damaging or spoiling them. Artifacts of historical importance are preserved in museums and are well protected. Historians and archaeologists work very hard to find out about the past. They both work hand in hand to help us learn about the past. Archaeologists excavate sites by digging for buried remains, and historians examine these remains and write books about what they have learned. So let us see in a nutshell what all we have learned. So history is the study of the past. We can divide history into ancient, medieval, and modern periods based on time. The two main sources of history are archaeological and literary sources. Monuments, buildings, coins, tools, and paintings are archaeological sources. Inscriptions are texts engraved by rulers on the pillars, walls, clay tables, and copper plates. We should take care of and preserve our historical sources and facts. Great! That brings us to the end of this chapter. Join us in our next video where we will talk about another very interesting topic. Thank you and stay tuned.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe.
Press the bell icon for our latest videos.